All right, so we've got a garbage disposal that won't work. First thing we're gonna do before we ever start trying to pull any of this apart is just make sure that it's not just jammed or needing the breaker reset. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up under here, right in the middle, there's going to be a spot that you can fit a 1/4-inch Allen wrench. You put that in there and you crank. And when you do this, this is cranking the armature of the motor all the way up through the top. So if it's just jammed up, you're gonna know right at this point because you're gonna feel it as you break it free. Might take a lot of force, but oftentimes that's all it is. And then additionally, you also need to know there's a reset button right here. Think of this like a circuit breaker. This reset button, its whole purpose is to if the motor gets jammed up so that it can't turn, then that breaker pops so that we don't overheat in there and burn up the motor. So again, the very first thing you want to do is just come in here and stick your 1/4-inch wrench up into this hole, crank it back and forth a few times, hit that reset button, and then once you hit that reset button, we can go up top and we can go ahead and give it a test. Before you come over here and do the testing, if you felt any grinding when you were using your 1/4-inch wrench down there, if you felt any grinding at all, that does mean you have debris in here. So you're gonna need to get that debris out before you hit the switch, otherwise you're just gonna bind up again. And for me, I just use my hand, I just force it in. It is a little bit tight, and I can get out everything that I need to get out of there, take it out, and then head over to the wall and go ahead and hit that switch and do the test. So we used our 1/4-inch wrench, we broke it free if it was jammed, we hit that reset button, now we hit this switch up here. Now, this one's working because I'm just using this one as a demonstration garbage disposal for the video. But if you heard absolutely nothing, if nothing happened, go ahead and replace that disposal. You can check for power if you want. Maybe you've got a power issue, but I've never seen that be the case. If I flip that switch after breaking it free and hitting the reset button, every time it's going to be a replacement. Now, if you flip that switch and you hear a hum, the garbage disposal doesn't kick on, but you do hear a hum. That means your disposal is still bound or the motor's bad. So go down there with that 1/4-inch wrench one more time, break it free one more time, hit that switch one more time, come up here and hit this again. And if what you hear is a hum again and it still doesn't work, replace that garbage disposal. But I will say 9 times out of 10, once you do that down there and you come up and hit the switch, you're gonna be fine. All right, so let's say you did your test and you've decided you need to change the garbage disposal. I wanna show you the kits that I've built for getting this process done. So we'll move this one out of the way. Start with this kit here. This is my garbage disposal kit. This has every single thing that I need in it to change a garbage disposal. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. So what's in this kit? Well, we have, these are wipes just for cleaning out the cabinet. This is to make sure you don't leave things stinking when you're done, because it can get stinky in there. You've also got a screwdriver. This one is both common and Phillips. You can flip the tip around. These are very cheap at Home Depot, and I'm starting to put them in all my kits. Of course, you've got your electrical wiring tool just in case you need to mess with the wires when you put your cord on. However, I do put the cords on at the shop most of the time. You got a flashlight, of course. You always need a flashlight when you're working in dark areas. Some channel locks. You've got your 1/4-inch garbage disposal tool. Outlet tester. Trash bags. In here I've got some clamps for the dishwasher drain line. I also have some screws. Let me show you what these screws are for. These here are the clamps to do backflow prevention on the dishwasher drain line. This is to put that drain line up high so that you don't get backflow from the sink into the dishwasher. And then this is just a little baggie of screws that you're going to need to attach that. You've also got some wire nuts for hooking up your electrical cord, but like I said, I usually put those electrical cords back on at the shop. And some zip ties just for cleaning all the mess up underneath. Some latex gloves. You can use vinyl, nitrile, whatever you want. I like latex. I don't respond to latex, so that's what I keep for me. You've also got some seals. This is for your drain line plumbing. These are new seals in case any of your drain lines have leaks under there. What's not in there is the power cord that goes here. The reason it's not in there is because I already filmed doing that right here on the job, but normally I'd have a spare one of these cords in that kit just in case. And then inside this bucket, as you can see, it had a lid. The bucket has the garbage disposal. And inside the bucket also, that disposal was sitting on some clean rags. It was also sitting on a smaller bucket that we're going to use underneath the garbage disposal to catch water because this bucket is too tall. So between that bucket and this kit right here, this is everything you need to carry in if you want to go ahead and do a garbage disposal swap. Now, if we go up there and hit that switch and everything works just fine, we just earned ourselves a $125 trip fee in about 2 minutes. If we fail the test, then we're going to have to go ahead and come down here and replace this. And I'm going to show you all the tools you need. I'm going to show you all the steps to take. This can be done by literally anybody. It's not a super hard job. So let's get started. All right, so step one, obviously, is we want to unplug the garbage disposal so that we don't have anything bad go down when we're trying to remove and replace this. And then step two, do not forget this one. Let's get your bucket up under there so that any water that drains into the bucket and not onto your client's cabinet. Next, you're gonna wanna go ahead and remove this drain line here. So the way we do that is just with a regular common slotted screwdriver. We're gonna take both of these bolts out. And then go ahead and slide that back. And you may have to come back to your drain pipes here and loosen them up just a little bit. That way you can get your plumbing out of the way so that you can turn this when it's time to take it off. Once you've got your drain line out of the way just enough so you're going to be able to turn this, you're going to have to take off the dishwasher drain line. That's usually a band clamp. There are other types of clamps, but all you got to do here is just turn this counterclockwise, rotate it, pop it off. Now when you pop it off, you're going to have to put it up high so that all that water doesn't drain out underneath. What I usually do with this is I just come up in here and just find a spot that I can kind of shove it up in between some hoses. And that just keeps the water from all draining out down here onto the cabinet bottom. So you've got your dishwasher line disconnected, you've got your drain disconnected underneath, and you're unplugged. The next step is going to be to actually remove this, and the way it removes is by turning it to the left and it unscrews. So this piece right here, including this is all the mount that's permanent attached to the sink. This here is threaded onto the mount and there's a locking tab. So what you want to do to unlock it is get a screwdriver in between there and just pry sideways until you get over that mount. Now once you get over that locking tab, you're fine to just go ahead and unscrew. So hold it still, make sure your bucket's still under there, and you drop it right down. So here's your new disposal, but it's not ready to go in yet. If you'll turn it over, you'll see that there's no wire coming out of here to plug it in, so we're gonna have to do that ourselves. Step one is to just loosen this screw up and remove this little cover panel. Put that down the same way that you took it off, that way it goes right back on the correct way. If you want, you can fish these wires out of here and kind of get them out of your way. And then this is the clamp that you're going to need right here. This is the clamp that's going to come with the cord when you buy the kit, and the kit's usually right next to the garbage disposals. So you'll want to unscrew both pieces, and the nut is going to go down inside here. And yes, this is not super easy to do, guys, but I do think that it's necessary. So before you get the nut in there, you're just going to hand screw this clamp on. Now I will tell you, I see a lot of people, in fact most of the time, this clamp is screwed into here and there is no nut. So if you're working on your own home, you can make your own calls on that. But if you're doing this as a business, then I do suggest, for liability's sake, that you do it correctly. So you get the clamp up in there, and then you tighten them both together and screw it in. I know you can't see what I'm doing in here, but I'm tightening that nut on with my finger. Now this is on. The next thing you're going to want to do to fully tighten that nut is you're going to need a common slotted screwdriver, and you're going to stick it in here from the side, and you're going to be able to push on the little tabs of that nut to tighten it down all the way. So once you've got that in there, you take the little hole through your clamp and you fish the wires for your new cord up inside your disposal. and you're gonna have to reach in and grab them. It's not always super easy to get them in and out, but it's not usually super hard either. I've got 2 of the 3 here. There's the other one. And then once you get that in there, you're gonna tighten down this clamp. Let's go ahead and set our Phillips up. Get that in there and then tighten down the clamp all the way. And this is just gonna hold this wire still so that it's not vibrating around on you all the time as you're using your garbage disposal. The more that wire vibrates up against metal, the higher the chance you have of everything chafing and getting some sort of arc or spark, perhaps starting a fire even. I haven't seen it happen, but you never know, so I do suggest just doing this the right way.
If I can have 30 seconds of your time, I have a message for you. If you want to give your family the best life possible, consider starting your own handyman business. There aren't enough of us out here, and the skills you'll need are easy to learn. Earning a 6-figure income in your first year is absolutely possible and within your reach. The hardest part is the business part, which is why I created this channel. I've made the big mistakes and learned the hard lessons for you, and it's all here for free. In the description of this video, you'll find a free masterclass to take you through the process step by step. Good luck.
Now I noticed my clamp just moved a little when I was tightening, so I'm going to come back in here with my common and tighten that up a little more. But for now, I'm going to show you how to finish this. So what you have, and by the way, if I didn't mention this, I usually do this at the shop. This is a great job to do at the shop so that this is all prepped and ready for you and you're not having to do it on the job. So you've got a black and a white wire coming out of the disposal, 1 black and 1 white. And then you have your 2 black wires coming from the new cord. That would be these 2 right here. Now I see a lot of videos where they try to describe to you guys how to figure out the polarity on these wires so that you don't hook the black wire up where the white wire goes or vice versa. What I'll tell you is it doesn't matter because AC doesn't care and doesn't even know. It can't tell what polarity you hooked any wires up at. That's just part of being AC. So get them twisted together, get a wire nut on. Either of the 2 black wires can go to the white wire and either of the 2 black wires can go to the black wire. So get that twist started and then get your nuts on. And you can push those back down into here. Now you're left with a green wire. The green wire is your ground, and you're going to see right here you have a green screw. So go ahead and take that green screw out, fish it through the eyelet on your terminal for your ground wire, and just get that screwed right back in. Keep that pushed down in there so it's not popping up against the lid. Now you've got all that screwed back in, you've got all your wiring done. You can pop your little cover plate back on just the way you took it off. Tighten this little nut up, and then come back over here and just make sure that this is nice and tight. And now you've got your wire on here, so you're able to plug it in. Now there is one more thing that you're going to need to see, and that is right here inside this hole. This is where your dishwasher drains. This hole right here, this is the dishwasher drain line. At the moment, there's a cap inside this hole. If you do have a dishwasher, if there is a dishwasher installed, then you need to knock this cap out. Otherwise, you're going to go put that drain line back on, and the first time that dishwasher runs, it's not going to have anywhere to go, and it's just going to back up into the dishwasher. So the easiest way to do that is with your screwdriver that you've already got. And then, once you've got that knocked through, you can just reach up inside here and fish that little plastic piece out. That's the cover plate for the dishwasher that we just knocked out. Now our dishwasher has somewhere to drain. And if you don't have a dishwasher, then just don't do that part. So this guy is now ready to get reinstalled. So let's go back down below and do the reinstallation here. So once you've got everything lined up, you can go ahead and pop this guy back up in here. Now this is probably the hardest part, but once you get this back up in here, you just want to make sure that these tabs go on where you get it threaded, and go ahead and start that threading process. However, you're not going to tighten it all the way down just yet. what you're gonna do is use that 1/4" tool to get it kind of close. And then you're gonna take your channel lock pliers and just squeeze that back over to that locking tab. And if you'll notice, you can still turn this even after it's locked. So this is gonna allow us to finish lining everything up. All right, so you got your new disposal in. Now all you gotta do is kind of line it back up with your pipe, make sure it's in the right spot. And you do want to remove this old gasket here. You're going to have a brand new rubber washer that you can put in there. Make sure there's no debris in the way. Get that new one in there. Pick this back up, slide it over to where it goes. And then it's perfectly fine to reuse the old hardware. And you just want to get these started. I usually get them started by hand first, just a couple threads. And then just get them tightened on down. I like to do one side a few threads and then go to the other side and get that one a few threads, and I just alternate back and forth until I get this all the way tightened down. Make sure they're both nice and tight, and you're done with the drain line now, so now you got to hook the dishwasher line back up. Go ahead and pull your dishwasher line back down. Get it fully over that nipple. Don't forget to knock that piece out if you've got a dishwasher, or you'll be coming back to this job because the dishwasher won't drain. Get that clamp tightened down nice and tight. And last but not least, get it plugged back in. Now don't forget, you loosened this up earlier so that you could move this out of your way so you could rotate this off. So don't forget when you're all done to tighten this back up. Flopping around back here behind me, as you can see, this is the dishwasher drain line. The camera's probably not going to focus on it well, but this is the dishwasher drain line. This needs to be pinned up high. That's why we have those black clamps in the clip. So you're just going to take this line, bring it all the way to the top of the cabinet here, and you're going to screw one of those clamps on to keep the dishwasher drain line up high. What that's going to do is it's going to make sure you don't have water from the sink backing down the dishwasher drain line back into the dishwasher and stinking the dishwasher up. Now, the very last step before you leave the house, no matter what, if you've done any work at all to the sink, if you've been under the sink at all, very last step is going to be to take the brand new stopper that comes with your garbage disposal, put it in here, and start filling the sink up with water. You want to fill it all the way to the top. Now, I do suggest doing both basins, but at the very least, the basin that has the garbage disposal, fill it up to the very top with water. You've dried everything off down below, and then pull that plug and flip the switch and run the disposal while this is draining out. If you do that while this is draining out, then you can go back down below when you're done and you can feel for leaks. You can also look for them, but sometimes they're going to be a tiny seep, so you'll be able to go underneath and actually feel for those leaks by draining this with the disposal running and pressurizing those lines. And then once you're done, you can just take your scented wipes and make sure you give everything a really thorough cleaning so that you don't leave the sink smelling like a drain. This right here is the InSinkErator garbage disposal. This one, as of the day that I'm filming this, is $124 at Home Depot. This is a Glacier Bay garbage disposal, and this was $98 at Home Depot. So there's a significant price difference. In fact, this is half horsepower, and this is only 1/3 horsepower. So it might seem like this is a great deal. In fact, it even came with the cord already attached, saving the labor of having to put this cord on. But I want to point something out that's extremely important. I don't use this one, and there's a Moen that's very similar and also affordable that I don't use. And the reason I don't use them is this. Right here on the bottom is my hole for my 1/4" drive so that I can break this free. This one doesn't have one, and neither does the Moen. And what that means is that if this gets jammed and I get called over to fix this, if this gets jammed, I can stick my 1/4" wrench in the bottom and crank it free and reset this garbage disposal. If this gets jammed, they do make one tool that you can put in from the top, but I've broken many of those in the past when I first got started doing this. It's not a reliable method. So spend the extra money on the incinerator so that you have that 1/4-inch drive. Otherwise, you're going to end up having to replace a bunch of these, and you're going to have some upset tenants and some upset clients because they're going to want to know, if they're aware even, they're going to want to know why you didn't put one in that could just be repaired instead of now having to put a whole new garbage disposal in again.
Alright, so let's talk about the money real quick. So if this was a simple repair, that'd be 2 to 3 minutes of our time. It'd be a $125 trip fee, so that's obviously great money. If we did have to replace this garbage disposal, I've timed myself on this many times. This is about a 15-minute job, and that does include putting the cord onto the new disposal at the job site. So on job time, it's going to be 15 minutes, $150. That comes out to about $600 an hour that you're billing while you're on the job. Now, of course, we do have to consider that we spend plenty of time off the job driving and running the business in general, so take that into account as well. But this is a very lucrative career field. If you're interested in becoming a handyman, I do suggest that you go look in the description of this video for my masterclass, which will be dropping in early May of 2024, and check out the rest of my channel. I take you through everything you need to know in very minute detail, step by step, and I wish you guys good luck.